Hi, this is Jane with the Ford Library. Today we're going to search for companies using S&P Capital IQ Pro, a source for not only U.S. and international public and private companies, but also for information on deal data, key developments, financial markets, and more. To locate S&P Capital IQ Pro, go to the Ford Library page, and from the top select Databases, A to Z List, then drop down to S&P Capital IQ. The first thing you'll need to do is self-register for a CapIQ account. When you do so, please review the S&P Capital IQ Terms of Use. Then you can start your registration. Once you've registered, you can then go into Capital IQ Pro Access and click Login. Both your CapIQ password and your CapIQ Pro password are the same for each database. So I'm entering my information and then clicking Sign In. Upon logging into Capital IQ, you're going to notice that we're seeing a display of different markets, including the indice markets. You can also see information on the S&P 500, on exchange rates, interest rates, etc. Within each information box, you can also see different types of information, so bonds, crypto, commodities. We can also go in and see other types of information. So if we wanted to add another box, we can go in and say, I want to see transactions on my page as well. So there we see that data. So let's go ahead and search for a company. I'll come up here to the top. I'd previously searched Merck, and I'm going to do that again. This will open up their corporate profile, and since they're publicly traded, there's going to be a great deal of information on their stock data, as well as financials. You can also get who the officers and directors are, latest activities within the company, transactions, financial highlights. You'll notice on the left we can also find other types of information. There is a great deal available here. What I want to do is drop down to Financials and select Key Stats. So right now we're looking at 5 years worth of key financial information on the company. If I drop to Templated, I can also see the actual income statement for the past few years. Note that anything in blue, these highlighted numbers, you can actually go to the number and see where it was cited in, say, their 10K or 10Q. You can also come up here at the top, as I'm doing now, and select a number of years to look at instead of the 5 years that they have normally. All of this you can download to Excel. Another thing that I like about Capital IQ is that they will include supplemental data if it's available within the report. So in this case, we're looking at their supplemental healthcare information for their product lines. And notice that under pharmaceuticals and biotech, they're giving you things like the number of products in different phases. We can also go into business relationships, and if you wanted to take a look at some supply chain data, they will have that for you. This is just an overview of it, but you can also find more within that. There's also news and events. If you wanted to take a look at their latest filings, you could find that. And also they include ESG and climate data. So I can take, again, a look at their overview. If you wanted to see their investments as portfolio companies, you can do that. And also they have their latest transactions. Know that with CapIQ, you can normally go in and see every transaction that they have created, or that they've been involved with. So that's also available to you. Another great thing about CapIQ is you can go up to this screener tool, and if you want to filter for companies or transactions, you can do that. So we've got a number of different ways that we can create a list or a number of companies within a search. So I'm going to select companies. But again, you can search for things like M&A transactions and for people. So our screen is going to load, giving us our search criteria or our filtering criteria. They have the most recommended up here. So if we wanted to, we could start with industry classification. And I'm going to continue to think about Merck in the back of my mind and say, I'm looking for pharmaceutical companies. And this is going to look worldwide. I click Add, and you'll see we have, over on the right, 36,000 companies. If I click Company Type, I can say, show me only publicly traded companies. And we still have a good number, over 1,700. So at this point, I'm going to click Company Status. Sometimes you get companies in your results that are no longer in operation. So I'm going to click Add there. And let's add geography. And I'll say the US. Click Add. And again, we're just narrowing our search. So last but not least, I think I'll search or narrow by revenue. So let's look for companies with revenues of over $500 million. So I'm going to type in 500 and click Add. Click Done, and you'll see that we have 150 companies. Clicking Run Screen will allow us to look at those companies, and if we go over to Display Columns, we can start adding more to this table. For instance, we could decide that we want to see a company description, so I'm going to drop down to General Business Description and add that in. Then I'm going to say I'm looking for the state, where are they located, click Apply, and let's look at who their top executive is, that person's name and title. We're going to add that in. And last but not least, I've selected summary compensation, and I'm going to look at their salary and their bonus. And this is for the current year. Okay, now I'm going to click Apply, and that will create that table for you. So there's a number of ways that you can go in and do this. I'm going to select All under Entity Name and export this. There's any number of tables that you can create with CapIQ. It's something to explore if you are, say, looking for a job and you want to create a list of companies meeting your criteria. So I hope that's helped. If you have questions regarding this or other resources available from the Ford Library, please contact us by chat, phone, or email.